Hello everyone, and this is my review for Monday Night Raw on January 13th, 2014. I'm going to start this one out by saying that the show was okay. It was okay in certain areas, bad in others, and pretty good in other areas. Starting out with the Big Show having his match with Jack Swagger, which just basically was him trying to send a message to Brock Lesnar type deal. Honestly, I'm kind of getting sick and tired or bored of how Brock Lesnar storylines basically go. It will basically be he shows up, the match is set, and then he'll see you in 2 to 3 weeks type deal. Maybe show up for one more Raw before the match, and it's kind of getting old. It's great seeing Paul Heyman on the microphone. He's great there, but again, it gets old with the factor that after you see Brock Lesnar show up on Raw once, you won't really see him much anymore until the pay-per-view match, and it really doesn't allow for anyone to really get behind any of the matches. Just the way his schedule's set up with how he can come in and then just go, and then he'll come back for the pay-per-view match or something like that. So, in all honesty, not really looking forward to Big Show and Brock Lesnar, just because on the aspect that you don't get to see Brock Lesnar much on TV, and that's basically how it is really. You don't see him much on TV. It doesn't really allow for a lot of story building outside of, oh, this guy hates him, and then Brock just wants to fight something. It's not all that great, at least not in my own opinion. You had Alberto Del Rio going up against Rey Mysterio. And honestly, since we've seen the match plenty of times, it's going to be at least a decent match, which it was again. And I also liked afterwards with Alberto Del Rio getting the win, calling out Batista like he did in the previous weeks or the previous shows. And basically also using the whole friendship angle that they had with him and Rey Mysterio, even though the last time we saw Batista, he was a heel. They were still kind of using that. At one point, they were friends type deal because they're obviously going to be bringing Batista as a face. So I liked where they were going with that, but obviously it looks like they are going to be using Alberto Del Rio as cannon fodder for when Batista comes back next week, and then obviously for the Rumble match itself. So not really expecting too much out of that, but it could be interesting and see where they actually go with it. Maybe it'll lead into an actual one-on-one match. Maybe this will be something for Batista to go feud through the next pay-per-view with. We'll see where they go with it, though. The whole New Age Outlaws teaming up again with CM Punk. I said it again with last week's Raw review. Why is CM Punk even teaming up with the New Age Outlaws? And why aren't they just turning on him? Because it's already common knowledge that both Billy Gunn, the characters with Billy Gunn and Road Dogg Jesse James, are good friends with Triple H. So why aren't they just already turning on him and helping out the Shield or helping out the Authority in this case, which is what they did this week. So at least they went ahead and finally did it. I feel like it was a week too late, but it is what it is in that case. So hopefully, hopefully next week or even on SmackDown, we'll see the New Age Outlaws come out with suits on or something like that, showing that they're part with the Authority and everything. So I think that would actually be really cool. Instead of them being out there in their old DX attire, that they come out in suits to be more corporate, to be more part of the Authority type deal. So we'll see where they go with that, and hopefully that's where they would go with it. I think that would be cool if they went with that aspect of it instead of them just becoming heels in that case, but we'll see where they go with it. And this pretty much leads me to the, that won't really lead me to where I want to talk last, but I will talk about the Cena-Damian Sandow match. Again, it's a really good match, and it's a shame that they really don't have anything for Damian Sandow at this point in time, because I've always felt he's been a great character with his intellectual savior of the masses type deal, all that, and that whole genius type gimmick. I like where they were going with that, but he's going out there and proving that he can have really good matches and having good matches with the top talent. So it's kind of sad that they don't have a storyline for him. He and Cena's match was actually really good again, and I really want to see them use Damien Sandow a little bit more. Obviously, they were using this match as something for Cena to, you know, get a win or try to make it look like he's gaining momentum going into the Rumble match with Randy Orton for the title. And then I also liked where they went with the whole Orton, the whole Orton deal. He's showing his frustrations with the authority and everything. He feels like they're out to get him, even though they're on his side type deal. I like where they're going with that. Plus, also him getting in the face of Kane about the whole Brock Lesnar Batista deal them coming back in and feeling like he needs to be protected. And then his match with Kofi Kingston, which, you know, Kofi can put on really good matches, and we know what Orton can do in the ring as well. And they did it again. They put on a really good match again. I liked how they allowed Orton to pretty much dominate the entire match, but give that feeling that he's letting Kofi Kingston stay in the match type deal. That you had that sense that that they're going to pull this nice little swerve and allow Kofi to win, which they actually did go with. And then I like the little, temper tantrum that, Randy Orton was displaying afterwards. It just kind of shows an era of vulnerability with the champion there, and to garner intrigue into those title matches, you want that heel champion to feel at least a little bit vulnerable before going into the match itself, and that's where and they pulled it off really well here. So I'm really glad to see where they went with that. And that pretty much does bring me to what I wanted to talk to last, which was the whole Daniel Bryan, the Wyatt family, and their clash with the Usos throughout the night. You had the tag match to start out the show with Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan versus the Usos, which was a fun match and continued this whole aspect of Daniel Bryan giving into the Wyatts type deal, because they lost by DQ. He gets punished by Bray Wyatt after the match, and then they go off again. And then you have another backstage. You have a couple more backstage segments in there where Brad Max makes it a cage match with Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan versus the Usos, and you also have another really good promo about Bray Wyatt saying they're going to unleash the monster inside the steel cage and everything. I liked where they were going with it, and it came off as extremely creepy and everything, and that led into the actual cage match, which was actually a really good cage match, I thought, in my own personal opinion. You don't get to see tag team cage matches too often. It's been an extremely long time, and this was a real fun one to watch. And having the Usos pull out the victory again, and making it look like he was going to punish Daniel Bryan to go off the show, and they would continue on with that storyline with with Daniel Bryan still getting used to being part of the Wyatt family and everything. That's where I thought they were going to go, but they decided to pull the aspect of him turning on the Wyatt family at this point in time, which to me makes me wonder why they even had him join the Wyatt family to begin with. Because it's only been a couple shows since he did join the Wyatts. Now he's turning against them and attacking Bray Wyatt, and then you're getting the whole him, garnering the yes chance of the from the crowd and everything. I wish they would have dragged it out a little bit more, unless if they're going for an aspect that next week that he kind of resubmits himself to the Wyatt family again. It kind of garners a purpose of why they even bothered. Because within 2 weeks he's already back to doing his yes chants and everything like that. So it came off a little weird to me, and it didn't really. It made the whole aspect of the speech that he gave about a couple weeks ago seem completely useless, with him submitting and joining the Wyatt family. And it just didn't come off all that good to me, even though the crowd the crowd exploded for it, which was a great scene to see, with the crowd chanting yes and Daniel Bryan doing all that. But storyline wise, it makes that segment 2 weeks ago kind of null and void, and why did you even do it at that point? So like I said before, I felt Raw was a okay show. It had some good points, it had some bad points to it, but that's what you're typically getting nowadays. You're getting decent matches at the least for the most part, and you're not really seeing anything too overly bad at this point either. So that's my review this week for Monday Night Raw. I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.